Monkey D. Luffy's Gear 5th Monkey Legend Awakening by Draco. Hi everyone, Flying Panda. Here comes part 2 of Luffy's true power, his Gear 5th theory, and how it makes him on par with the YONKO, at least as strong as the YONKO, and enables him to hold his own in a battle against someone like Kaido. This video will be heavy on speculation, but I think you're gonna enjoy what I think Luffy's Gear 5th will be and how this fight will go down. In the last video I talked about why I believe Luffy is much stronger than we have seen so far in the series post time skip. The most undeniable fact and convincing fact is that so far we have only seen flashbacks from Rasukaina when Rayleigh was still on the island with Luffy. After all, he trained for 6 months on his own, and so far we haven't seen a single flashback or hint from the time he trained alone on the island. A quote from Rayleigh and Sanji. Rayleigh says, "I'm impressed you all managed to get here." Sanji, "Yeah, I'm surprised to hear you train Luffy, though he must be pretty strong by now." Rayleigh responds with, "I haven't seen him in 6 months myself, so I'm looking forward to seeing how much he has grown since then." We also know for a fact that he has also developed Gear 4th and some Gear 4th techniques when Rayleigh was still on the island with Luffy. This has led me to believe that Luffy has developed some more aces up his sleeve. Among these developed techniques, I think Luffy has managed to create a Gear 5th transformation. The biggest reason why is because he managed to create Gear 2nd and Gear 3rd after his fight against Okiji. This was in a matter of days. That's way less than the 2 years he spent with Rayleigh. We all know that he had Gear 2nd and Gear 3rd in the fight against Cypher Paul in his epic fight against Rob Lucci. So if Luffy haven't managed to develop 2 more gears in 2 years, that would really surprise me, especially when he had the help from Rayleigh and we know he had Gear 4th when he was still on the island. Now onwards to what I think his Gear 5th is, as many have speculated that his Gear 5th will make him resemble Son Wukong. Ever since Whole Cake Island, I have gotten more convinced that this will be the case, because what does Big Mom fly on? A cloud named Zeus. Where is Zeus now? Zeus is with Nami and is her loyal servant. But more about this topic later. We know that Oda has been heavily inspired by Dragon Ball and Akira Toriyama like so many other mangakas even to this day. We know that Son Goku was based on Son Wukong, the Monkey King from the story Journey to the West. We also know that Luffy is loosely based upon Son Wukong. His name is Monkey D. Luffy and his dream is to become the Pirate King or Monkey King. I believe that just like Enel and Magellan, Luffy's Gear 5th will look similar to a deity, a devil demon or a legendary monster, and that will be Son Wukong for Luffy. Enel is a Raijin, a god of lightning. Magellan is a poison demon or devil. Luffy will look like Son Wukong, god deity. Now onwards to what I think Luffy's Gear 5th power will come from. The Gear 2nd power up is from pumping blood at a fast rate. Gear 3rd is a bone balloon and is from enlarging your bones by blowing them up. Gear 4th is muscle balloon and Luffy is blowing up his muscles and making the air stay with the help from his haki. His Gear 5th will be based on circular division and will be called something like circular split or rush. Luffy will use his extra cells to enlarge his body to an 8-meter tall version of himself, looking like the Monkey King Son Wukong, as foreshadowed in chapter 786. The quote was by the citizen in Dressrosa, "I heard he was an 8-meter giant." This guy is at best 4 meters. We know from SBS, Big Mom is 880 centimeters, 8.8 meters, and that Kaido has a similar size. That's also a reason why I believe Luffy will be 8 meters tall. He will use his cells to make his bone larger like in Gear 3rd, and he will make more and stronger muscles similar to Gear 4th. he'll get more mobile thanks to the blood cells in his body like Gear 2nd. I believe that he will be based off Gear 5th improved version of his previous gears combined. Think about the power Luffy would achieve thanks to all this. It would give him the physical strength to fight a Yonko on equal terms, but Luffy would not only have that, he'll be able to use his cells for more things to amplify his body that the previous gears couldn't, to gain various power-ups and techniques. I want to point out that I don't think Luffy will be able to do some of these techniques until he awakens his Devil Fruit. I think that Luffy's Gear 5th is still incomplete and that he needs to awaken his Devil Fruit powers to complete his Gear 5th, but more about that later. Back to future techniques and power-ups thanks to the Gear 5th. He will later be able to regenerate his wounds with his circular rush like Awakened Zone, making it look like how Katakuri or Marco restore their bodies. If Marco could patch up his body, why wouldn't Luffy be able to restore it with rubbery cells? He'll be able to use his cells to improve all the nerves in his body to react faster, combined with his observational haki. He'll be almost impossible to hit. When he later awakens, he'll be able to circularly divide himself into Gear 5th to create some rubber clones. Son Wukong was known for being able to make clones of himself by using one of his hairs to create a clone of himself. I would call Luffy's mirror clones as a foreshadow for his very ability. Luffy will be able to transform his surroundings to rubber, and with his Gear 5th, he'll be able to change the rubber shape and make them multiply. That will give Luffy a great arsenal to use against his opponents. I believe that Luffy developed his Gear 5th just before Rayleigh left his island, and that it made him to be able to defeat all the last animals monsters on the island. But I also believe that it did an insane amount of damage to Luffy's body, that Rayleigh had to help Luffy get back to health. Rayleigh forbid Luffy to use Gear 5th because it was a double-edged sword, and told Luffy to focus on other techniques and mastering haki because his body is not ready to use his Gear 5th yet. Rayleigh probably realized that Luffy needs to awaken his Devil Fruit to be able to use Gear 5th without these great repercussions. The reason why I believe that this is to be the case is because Luffy's fighting style has always been to push himself and his techniques to the very limits of his ability, if not beyond. Just look at the drawbacks of his previous gears and what they did to him after using them. I believe that Luffy's Gear 5th will hold his cells reproduction and their circular division, or at least slowing them down to an absurd degree, making Luffy unable to move and pushes his very organs to the very edge of functioning after the duration of Gear 5th. I also believe that if it makes Luffy lose his lifespan, because we have previously seen that his rash decisions have pushed him to the brink of death and made him lose his lifespan to survive. I think Gear 5th does the very same thing in exchange for a crazy power. That's why I believe he will only use his Gear 5th against a Yonko. In chapter 538, a quote by Ivankov, 10 years of your life you will have lived, I'll be using them for you, Straw Hat Boy. I think his Gear 5th will make him as strong as a Yonko as mentioned earlier, but the Yonko have fought and engaged in battles for decades with the exception of Blackbeard. But so far, they haven't killed each other in those battles. That's because being as strong as a Yonko doesn't mean you can take them down. If that was the case, one of them would rule the new world by now. I believe that Luffy's Gear 5th will make him strong as one of the Yonko, but not only would that be enough to take one down. Luffy will also be fighting with a time limit like his previous gears. That gives Luffy a limited time to defeat a Yonko in battle. So for the battle against Kaido, I think the Supernovas and the allied forces will be able to get to Kaido and will all try to take him down. Luffy will get a chance to a 1-to-1 with Kaido. It will be the Yonko Kaido versus the Goku Luffy. I believe there are two ways this fight could go down. Luffy would make the mistake of not going all out against Kaido from the very start and fights Kaido in his Gear 4th. He might even change his Gear 4 forms in his fight for the very first time, switching between them while fighting Kaido. But this won't be enough to take out Kaido, and Luffy will try his King Kong gun on Kaido. The King Kong gun will manage to hurt Kaido, but for him, that's just like an average attack from a fellow Yonko, and he's used to taking those. He would then tell Luffy that it was a good punch and then show him how you do a real punch. Kaido will beat the living crap out of Luffy. If not, he'll be sent him flying in severe hurt unconscious state. Or secondly, Luffy goes gear 5 from the start of the fight against Kaido. He fight against Kaido on equal terms, even manages to push Kaido back. We'll all see that Luffy deserves his title of Goku. But in the end, Luffy doesn't manage to finish off Kaido in gear 5 and Luffy's time run out, making him unable to move, and Kaido will start attacking Luffy. In both scenarios, Luffy loses the first round of Kaido. Either Kaido will make him severely hurt Luffy through the sky, or his allies will save Luffy before Kaido finishes him off. But then, unless Big Mom comes to save the day, or because she can't let Kaido finish off her prey. This would be a chance for Oda to redeem Big Mom and show us how a battle between Yonkos should look like. I do recommend watching Joy Boy's video on the matter of Big Mom appearing at Wano. I might have one or two things to add to that as usual, but we might cover that in a future video. Anyways, in the end, Kaido will come out victorious. Big Mom will either be killed by Kaido or severely injured at the brink of death, but she will at least have given Kaido a horrible wound. Either way, Luffy will get away from Kaido and will be under the care of some doctors like Chopper and maybe Law. They'll get help from the best doctors in Wano to try to save Luffy's life. Even Law might even do the immortality operation on Luffy to save his life, but I don't think that will be the case. Luffy will in some way regain his consciousness and will go fight Kaido for the second time, and he will arrive when it looks darkest for the allied forces fighting Kaido. Now to why I believe Luffy will defeat Kaido and how he'll manage to do that with his gear 5th, and why I believe his gear 5th will make him resemble Son Wukong. Here comes the force that will defeat Kaido: Nightmare Goku. I believe that Gekko Moria will be on Wano seeking his revenge on Kaido for killing his entire crew. Gekko Moria will be out for revenge and will join the allied forces to fight Kaido, but instead of using many shadows as seen before against Oars in Thriller Bark, I believe that Moria will only give Luffy around 9 to 10 shadows, and those shadows will be from his fellow crew members, the Straw Hat crew. It will be similar like how Riko Nora uses his clan members' powers to fight his opponents in Nurarion no Maga, who gains the power from his fellow allied yokais, or like how Son Goku uses Genki Dami to take down an overpowered foe. He'll gain the powers from his fellow Straw Hat, making Luffy in his gear 5th a true monster. He'll gain Nami's rod staff that resembles Son Wukong's staff, that can change size just like Nami's rod since Usopp upgraded it. This will make Luffy able to fight both at a greater distance and in close combat, also allowing him to pull out some great techniques. The staff will be natural for him because it stretches like his rubber body, and he will have Nami's experience using a staff along with his crew knowledge of how to wield a weapon. We have also seen that Luffy uses an iron pipe staff in his childhood. I believe this is a foreshadow from him using Nami's staff or his own rubber staff later in gear 5th. Luffy will also use Zeus to fly to battle in an instant, and thanks to Nami's shadow, he will know how to use Zeus in his fight or rematch against Kaido. Luffy will fly through the sky just as Son Wukong does, and how we have seen Son Goku fly on his flying Nimbus, and I think that Oda made Luffy a Goku sound similar to Goku, a 5th Emperor, just to foreshadow this very moment. With the thanks of Nami's technique, Luffy will be able to create copies of himself thanks to Nami's Mirage Tempo, who will use this to confuse Kaido, and this will make him furious like some of the monkey style in Kung Fu, just like how Luffy managed to annoy Arlong in that previous fight. With the shadows from Luffy's crew, he will become a true monster with a combined strength from his crew members, especially from Zoro, Sanji's and Jinbei's shadows. He will have the sniping ability from Usopp, the intelligence of his crew like Robin, Nami, Frankie, and Jinbei. He will have all their techniques plus his own, and he will be able to make combinations never seen before. This will be the power to take down a Yonko like Kaido. His entire crew trained for this moment for the last 2 years. We saw in that flashback that they realized that Luffy alone won't be enough to make him become the Pirate King. He will need the support and strength of his crew, and this would be the perfect chance to put that into action. Like stated by Usopp, thought that all I do was watch, and that Luffy would go and become the Pirate King all by himself. But I was wrong. There's a ton of enemies that's not even he can beat. Even Luffy loses sometimes, he's overdoing it, he's screaming, that's why he needs my almighty power. Spoken by the prophet Usopp. If that isn't foreshadowing, I don't know what is. In chapter 596. That's why I believe Luffy will gain the shadows from his crew, his Nakama, to defeat Kaido. Unlike the battle against Oars, they will not fight together to bring down Kaido down. They will willingly give their shadows to Moria, so Luffy can use the power of their entire crew to bring down Kaido. It will also be the ultimate test for them to allow Moria to take their shadows, leaving them unconscious and putting all their trust in their captain, the future Pirate King, Monkey D. Luffy, the Goku. They will also see if all their training during these past 2 years comes into fruition and is enough to bring down a Yonko. Luffy will fly Zeus into the fight against Kaido looking like a true nightmare, and Luffy's allies won't believe their eyes when Luffy is the one deciding the pace of the fight, showing them all that he's worth being a Goku. Giving them all hope like he has done so many times before to people all around the world that he will defeat the last enemy, that he will gain peace for this country and abolish the rulers, the enemies of this nation, and he will be the last person standing after this battle. So do you believe that the Straw Hats training and Luffy's training will come into fruition, and that Luffy's training with Rayleigh combined with his crew training will be enough to take down the Emperor? Do you believe that Oda have foreshadowed Luffy's Gear 5th looking like Son Wukong, and that it will be the case? Do you share my belief that Luffy's Gear 5th might be a cellular division, and in that manner of a cellular rush or spurt, or what do you believe his Gear 5th will be? Do you believe that Moria will be present at Wano and be after revenge against Kaido who slaughtered his crew, and that he will aid the Straw Hats and Luffy by giving him all his crewmates' shadow to make him into Nightmare Goku? Do you believe that Kaido will be defeated and by Luffy's hands? If so, who do you think will take Kaido's head, or will he live to tell the tale? Leave your comments down below, and I look forward to seeing what your thoughts on the video and to hear your opinions on the matter. Feel free to express your opinions no matter what. It is important to have an open mind and let's all express their opinion without getting ridiculed. And maybe, who knows, you might get new ideas or get inspiration from the comments and thought of others to make your own theories. Again, thanks to Draco. We speak every day in Discord, so join the Discord to catch up with some theory ideas. I just want to thank One World HD for his video on Luffy's Gear 5th. It's the one video that made us speculate about theories about Luffy's Gear 5th might be into the direction of looking like Son Wukong. Don't you think it's fitting that Luffy will gain this power? It will be needed for him to stand a chance against Blackbeard in the future fight. And also, don't you think that Luffy will resemble Son Wukong, considering he is the deity that challenged the heavens and defeated some of the gods, similar to the rulers of the world government in Morijo's, the Celestial Dragons? Anyways, thanks for watching the video. Please leave your comments down below, please click like, and if you haven't, please subscribe to Flying Panda.